Oh, okay, yeah. You go up there, or now she will do a page for this preschool, we like, maybe 3 years.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Brought it up.
Republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Probst.
Here.
Dr. Maragoni.
Here.
Mr. Stankovich.
Here.
Ms. Kapitowski. Ms. May. Here.
Item C, next on the agenda is to enter into executive session with respect to a public employee or official's employment. Need a motion, please? I'll make a motion. Second. Roll call.
Mr. Stankovich.
Aye.
Dr. Maragoni.
Aye.
Ms. Kapitowski. Ms. May. Mr. Probst.
Aye.
I show us entering executive
I asked, Mr. Fogel about, going to executive session with, Mrs. Joswag,
Oh,
because it brings the kids and personnel, so we'll go back in. That's okay.
So coming back.
So I'm going to enter to executive session under, complaints from the public employee and employee. Roll call. You get caught up.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
Dr. Maragoni.
Aye.
Mr. Stankovich.
Aye.
Ms. May. Ms. Capital. I show us back in executive session at 4:03 p.m.
You on? Or 4 o'clock or 3:30.
He said 4 and 5.
4 o'clock and 5:30.
And, we'll have an audit wrap up at 3 on Tuesday. So we're 3 until.
Okay.
You
You guys are more than welcome to come in.
Bring your sleeping
I ain't
bag.
done this. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes. They're on pages 1 through 9.
Yeah.
Everybody had a chance to review them. There's no corrections.
We can leave it open.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
You bring a chair.
Roll call.
Mr.
We're in here.
Ms. May, Ms. Kapowski, Dr. Marangoni,
Not good.
Mr. Stankovich.
Wasn't. Treasurer's report.
Okay, so if you guys turn to page 13, you'll see the cash fund balance at the end of January 2026. Also on page 10, but if you go to 13, you'll see, $8,350,666.24. That's the white pages. Purple pages next, bills paid in January 2026, pages 14 through 19. $1,615,278.36. Next section, pages 20 through 22 are receipts collected in January 2026. Total receipts on page 22, $1,132,975.35. Next section are transfers recorded this month. Transfers from Title I to the school-wide pool, $56,352.84. Title IIA to the school-wide pool, $6,080.98. Title IV-A to the school-wide pool, $4,201.68. And the general fund to the school-wide pool, $232,100.23. There are no done and no purchase orders to approve. And then you'll see the cafeteria report, details all revenues and expenditures in the month of January within the cafeteria fund. That's page 24. And then, last but not least, the financial forecast, which should have been loose within your packet. You all have that. So no page numbers on that. I will. Forecast. So I went over this, briefly in our meeting before you all started, so you're somewhat familiar with the forecast. And then what I'm gonna go through is line by line, just a quick overview of what that is, and then also, if you've taken a look at it before the meeting, the notes behind the forecast explain everything as well. So revenues, line 1.010, general property taxes. And you'll see this in the notes as well. We saw an increase in property tax revenues with the reappraisal that happened in FY25. We saw an increase of 270,000 from FY24, which included the first half collection of the increased tax. Combined with line 1.050, state reimbursement of property tax credits also increased with that general property tax increase. Total tax increases for FY26 around 499,000 from FY24. So every 3 years, we have an update or a reappraisal year. Typically, the reappraisal year yields a little bit higher of an increase than an update year. I have a projected 1% for the next update year. Next reappraisal will take place in 2030. And there is a lot of uncertainty around property taxes right now anyway, with all of the House bills that you'll see outlined within the notes. So, and then also the potential to, completely get rid of property taxes could potentially be on the ballot in November. Um, there's not a response as to what the answer is and exactly how schools will be funded at this point in time, so that could be through sales tax. It's unknown, I think, at the state level, so I'm sure there'll be more talk about that here in the coming months, I would imagine, so. So that's property tax portion of our funding, which accounts for about 38% of our funding, and then the remaining of our funding comes from the state, so our foundation funding. And those are lines 1.035 and 1.040, unrestricted and restricted grants and aid. FY 26 represents actuals from the state budget, and we are flatlined from there. We didn't receive an increase this year, and we don't expect any increases from the state in the future. They do a biennial budget, so every 2 years, they just did a biennial budget. 2 years from now, they'll do another biennial budget, and at that point in time, we'll know more about the future of our state funding. So that is it for the most part for revenues line, 1.060, all other revenues, those are miscellaneous, those include excess costs, which is, tuition paid to and from districts for special education students. So if we have a student that lives in the city of the school district, Martinsbury, and goes to a different school district, then we pay excess costs to that district and vice versa. If there's a student open enrolled from Belair, say, and they come to Martinsbury, they pay us excess costs for that student. We have interest income, Medicaid refunds, oil and gas revenues, etc. Just conservative, in future years. Donations are included in that as well, so. Lines 2.040 and 2.050, operating transfer zone and advances in, the prior treasurer, transferred funds, paying debt in and out of the general fund, and I just include all of that down in the debt service. No need to do the transfers. It just makes it more confusing and convoluted, I believe. So we just pay that directly from the fund that the debt payments are to be made from. Then 2.060, other financing sources, that just consists of refunds of prior year expenditures. So nothing major to report there typically. Expenditures 3.010, personal services, that's staff salaries and wages. Obviously a drop in fiscal year 2026 due to the reduction in force that took place in fiscal year 2025. So those savings are seen in FY 26. So and 2% step increase was built in for the remainder of the years in the forecast. At this point in time, all increases are negotiated. We didn't implement an increase this past year, so depending on our financial situation, at this time, I don't expect to see any future increases right now, pending any changes that may happen.
When's the next forecast due?
The next forecast is due in August. So I guess I could preface this by saying there are a lot of unknowns in this forecast. The state changed the date that forecasts were due. Typically, we would have done a forecast in May in the past. So I think my commitment probably to you all would be to update this forecast sometime between May and June, where we have some more known figures, and I'll point those out as I continue through here to give you even better idea of where we're at and where we're looking moving forward. Items like we don't receive our health insurance rate increases until April. So essentially that's a projection on here, unknown. This is a forecast that's full of projections, but by May, we should have some more solid information. Our amounts and rates have not been certified by the county auditor at this point in time. Typically, those amounts and rates would be certified. We know exactly what our collections were going to be for FY 27 tax wise. We don't have that yet. So there are a lot of unknowns in here. I don't expect to see any changes with state funding. The biennial budget's set at this point in time, but so I would like to update this for you all. I don't think it needs to be board approved, but I would at least like to provide you with an update in May or June so that you have a better idea of where we are at. So 3.020 employee benefits, so those drop in fiscal year 2026 due to the reduction in force. We experienced a 17% increase in health insurance this year. I projected a 14% increase for the remainder of the forecast because the year prior we had a 16% increase. So hoping for not as high of an increase, but I have to build in what I have to build in. We also in negotiations changed health insurance plans with our certified employees. So we brought them up to a higher deductible PPO plan and a qualified high deductible health plan with an HSA. Both of those less costly for the district. And we had about 30 employees jump onto the high deductible health plan with the HSA, which helped quite a bit. And then also in OPSI negotiations, which I think we'll work on approving that contract at our special meeting, but they committed to a higher deductible PPO, which is a little less costly for the district as well. And that won't take effect until January 1 of 2027, based on when we finalize negotiations with that group. So all financially good changes for the district. And, you know, as you can see, we had a personnel services are the majority of our expenses of the district. So if we're going to reduce expenditures, we can do that in other categories, but that's the biggest chunk of our expenditures is personnel services and benefits. So purchase services and supplies 3.030 and 3.040. Purchase services is a extremely volatile line item. There's a increase in FY26 purchase services due to increased legal fees, excess costs, which I mentioned previously, we pay tuition out. So there's an increase in that. You don't know what that's going to be until you get those numbers from the district. And we just completed that this past month. Increased water bills. We're currently working on trying to determine if there's an issue with our meters, if there's an issue down at the city. So we have some increased water bills that we're looking into. There are no leaks here that we know of, but that's, yeah. So that's something that we are looking into. I know Todd's contacted them down there at the water department a couple of times. They say that it's to be determined what the issue is at this point. They say there's more water being used at the elementary, but if I run Todd's numbers from what he's sending down to the city, from the meter readings, it looks to me it's the high school, middle school, not the elementary school. So those are just some discussions that we still have to have with the city. I think the next step is just requesting them to get us gallons used and price per gallon, because they don't put that on our bill. It just states adjustment in an amount. So
Do we get the commercial rate like businesses get? Or
the rate's not on our bill. So
I just assumed we did.
that's a very good question. Yeah, so that's something I'll ask them as well when I call down there. So because we haven't gotten a solution yet. So, and that's just one of the items in there. General insurance increase this year. So and then just other costs that come up that we're not expecting. We have a student, and I was talking to Alan about this. He was here a little early today. But we have a student, I believe, with a behavioral issue that was placed by Ohio Department of Job and Family Services in a facility in Worcester, Ohio, called Envision Academy. We have no control over the placement, where they're placed, how they're placed.
You just have to flip the.
We just have to pay the bill. I've been through legal, I've been through the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce. It's $200 a day for the student to be there, and so it's upwards of $40,000 a year. We have to pay and we don't recoup any of those costs. It's not a special education student, so you know, those are just some of the little unfunded state things we run into. And I think I talked about it earlier today at the budget commission hearing too. So Chuck, here's about that. Capital outlay, nothing major to report here. We have a water backflow valve we're repairing at this point in time. I put that amount in there for the foreseeable future in the forecast for a bus, if we would happen to need a bus, something of that nature, or other unplanned big projects, that we don't foresee coming, so. Debt and interest, 4.010, 4.020, 4.060, those are the line item numbers. Those are debt payments and interest on the QSAB and OASBO loans in FY 26 and FY 27 through 29, and includes both of those plus our COPS debt payment, which was the debt for the hillside slips, the roof, the flooring, so that coming back into the general fund really increases our expenses and affects our bottom line. So currently looking into some bond refunding or other options that we might have. We're working with Andy Broussard now at Bradley Payne. Just trying to work with some local banks to see if they have any ideas of anything they can do for us with bond refunding. He's looking at the same savings, approximately $20,000 a year potentially if we can do some bond refunding, and every little bit helps. So if that's where we end up, then we'll go that route. That doesn't seem to be changing at this point in time. Other objects are county auditor fees for the tax settlement processing, operating transfers, that those are related to our the general fund portion of the school-wide pool. So we pay all of our elementary salaries, wages, benefits out of the school-wide pool, and then do transfers from the general fund to support that. So that gives us a little more flexibility and how we spend our federal funds. So last item to note on there, the most important line on the forecast, I could argue, line 6.010, excess of revenues and other financing sources over under expenditures. Current year, we are pretty much break even. That could change because of that COPS debt coming back into the general fund. FY 27, we're overspending by $1 million. So the outlook from that for the foreseeable through the end of the forecast, we run out of money in FY 29. Not quite as bad as it looked on the last forecast, but we do still run out of money. If I recall, I think we were at 600,000 to 800,000, and now we're down to 371. So we're making progress.
Baby steps.
Yeah, we're making progress.
But
we're
sometimes
still-
that's, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, and we just have to keep trying to chip away at it as much as we can. Every time we save a little bit, you know, that's how it works. We end up with a child placed in a.
And I spoke with Holly about severance. I mean, we're gonna have people retiring and different things too. There's a severance payout that's gonna happen, you know, and so
And
that'll
those-
be a chunk.
Those estimates are included in my figures on the general fund. Chuck and I discussed potentially just transferring that out into the termination of benefits fund, and I can do that. I no problem. I have the figures figured out, so I can, it just sets those monies aside in a separate fund, and then we'll
It's
pay
easier for me to follow.
so that you can see
Yeah.
how much we have, to pay out. So I can do that, so. That's all that I have on the forecast. Of course, we need to have discussions around, if we want to put a levy on the ballot. I know we talked about that in January. I don't know if we want to do that at this meeting or when you want to discuss that. And then probably ongoing discussions about expenditure reductions and how we want to go about that as well. We've missed the deadline, like I spoke before, for the May ballot. That deadline was the beginning of February. We have until August, to get on the November ballot. So we'll have two resolutions that we would have to pass before that deadline, so we would have to pass a resolution, May and June, June and July, one or the other, probably sooner rather than later, and then I know if we do want to put a levy on the, Jim has talked with the, MFEA union president, and then also Jonathan Knapp has said that they provide some resources and help in regards to levy planning and marketing and that kind of thing, so. We did speak with the ESC in regards to IT services, because I know we'll be working on that in the near future, and that seems to be a viable option financially for our district, so I think in the next couple of months, once, we don't have a retirement confirmed yet from,
But we will.
yeah. So, so we started taking those steps, so that'll be a little bit, of the money savings, nothing huge. So, but
Is that a full, I mean, does it need to be full-time?
Oh, yeah.
I'm out on that.
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, I mean, and there's probably every minute, every day.
Cybersecurity,
Yeah.
it just keeps it, all the unfunded mandates that the state throws on us.
Then, outside of that, I've been working on, an oil and gas lease with Gulfport. So just trying to negotiate with them on a dollar amount, trying to get it as high as possible to help us out as much as we can, so, and it's not a lot, it's 6 acres, so. Maybe to the tune of $50,000, maybe more, we'll see. But, hope to have that to at the next board meeting for approval. And hopefully Andy Broussard and his team will get back to us in the next week or so with some information on, local banks and what they can do for us even. So.
We'll have a better outlook too on who's returning for next year, school year. Different things too, for the next one.
Currently, we have 2 retired applications, teachers.
Yeah, and I've included those in the, forecast as well, since Jim didn't make me aware of those. And outside of that, I mentioned our budget commission hearing, that, the county budget commission is now having a meeting with all treasurers in Belmont County. And that was this morning at 9 o'clock out at the county auditors, the commissioner's room at the auditor's office. It went well, so it was just a kind of a snapshot of our district, essentially. They did request 3 pages full of information. So we condensed it into a PowerPoint and gave them a management narrative and did a presentation this morning, so, and that went well, so.
I also Holly did a fantastic job on her presentation. I think actually
And I can
helped
share that
enlighten
with,
them, and so they understood more. It's really put in layman's terms. They picked up on it pretty good.
and I can actually, if you'd like, I'll send you the presentation and the management narrative and share it with you all, just so that you have it for your information as well. Yeah. Outside of that, I think that's everything I have for you within my treasurer's report today, so, do you have any questions or?
I make a motion for approval, treasurer's report. Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Stankovich.
Aye.
Dr. Marangoni.
Aye.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
Ms. Kapikowski. Ms. May.
We don't have any presentation by speakers, so next will be the treasurer's or superintendent's report.
Thank you. The elephant in the room, or the thing that everybody wants to know, is how many snow days we have left. Due to our 13 snow days and 2 2-hour delays, we currently have 3 snow days left. Just looking at the long range forecast, looks like maybe Monday might be suspect, but it depends on the temperature and of course how high that front comes up or how low it stays to the south. So, but after that, it looks like we should be good for quite some time because the temperatures are gonna be in the sixties, so that's good. As far as enrollment is concerned, we currently have 1,288 students in the district. That breaks down to 481 students at Ayers Elementary, 418 at the middle school, and 389 students at the high school. Moving down to personnel. Under employment, number one, Rebecca Shirley as a junior high track coach effective immediately. And I'll probably butcher this name, but Shay Beely as a substitute teacher for the 25-26 school year pending background check. And number three, Carla Shambaugh as a substitute teacher for the 25-26 school year pending background check.
Make a motion to approve the employment recommendations by the superintendent. Welcome.
Mr. Probst. Ms. May. Ms. Kazakowski. Mr. Stankovich. Dr. Marangoni.
I have no recommendations at this time for professional meetings.
Jim, do you want to speak to
You want to do that now? I can.
under your,
Yeah.
okay.
Yesterday, well, last Thursday, I think it was, I was contacted by Manny Matzakis, who is the owner and coach of the Ohio Valley Ironman. And I have a one-page proposal. It's not the full contract, but it just highlights those areas that we discussed in our meeting yesterday. I had Mr. Probst come up and I had our head football coach, Coach Kropka. I had our principal, Mr. Ramon, and our athletic director, Mr. Harkness, there for the meeting. And they were looking for a place to play 3 home games. It fits our schedule. They're gonna practice at Shady Side every day. So, you know, that is really nice if we're just the ones who would be hosting the games. As Mr. Probst said in our meeting, and I know you can speak to this, but I'm just saying, I thought it was a good idea that, or a good comment, that it'll bring something to the city that we haven't had before, and something that, maybe our families can take part in, come to. It's very inexpensive. It's professional football at a minor league level. We had some questions and concerns, one being insurance, that they've, covered that basis pretty well. The other, I had heard that last year they had alcohol at their games, which, we cleared that up. There'll be nothing in the stadium as far as that's concerned. We can't control what goes on in parking lots, but that we don't own. But on our property, that won't happen. One thing that we did that does entice us, and I'm speaking for the group, is that a few years ago, we got shut off with the parking next to the water plant. If you're facing the water plant, standing, by the stadium, the property on the right-hand side, they stopped letting us park there, which everyone knows we're really bottlenecked down there. And we don't have the room for parking that we used to have. Well, Manny is friends with someone who owns that property and believes that he could bridge that gap for us, and then we could use it in the future for our high school games, which would be huge. Because when the bridge was out, I ran that bus shuttle all around town, Tracy. And so that was one big thing for us. They would pay our workers if that's how we wanted to do it, if we had enough people who were willing to work. they'll pay our people to do that. They'll split concessions with us 50/50. They'll, the parking, they'll split with us and they'll pay us $500 per contest. In addition to, he had some other ideas, including our students by, offering them free game tickets, and that kind of thing, for our football team, our cheerleaders, our band. Guys, Joe, anything that, it's one of the key points that I might have missed?
I think so.
So,
All of it. He said he does stuff with people in the stands, it's entertaining.
Yes.
And things like that. I just thought it'd be great for the community.
I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Is concessions covered in the splitting of the
Yes, 50/50.
50/50? And is it the band, I mean, who is the concession provider? And who,
Well, that'll depend. That's stuff that we have to work out. If our people want to work it, it will be our football moms. So we still have to work those details out. And he'll have a contract that I'll send to Dan Lauder just to let him come over it to make sure it's good on our end for legality. But no matter who we have, it's 50/50.
that's good.
This will be a couple months in the summer, right?
Yes, I think the first game would be the weekend after graduation, the 30th. And then the other games were, like you said, maybe one in June, one in July. They play 6 total and then they start their playoffs.
This wasn't gonna interfere with anything we were doing.
That's why we had Coach Crofty here to make sure that it didn't interfere with anything that he's doing with our kids.
And who cleans up the mess?
Well, that's part of if our workers want to do it, they'll pay them. If they don't, then they'll hire their own. So. We need a motion from the floor.
I'll second. Roll call.
Mr. Stankovich.
Aye.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
Dr. Marangoni.
Aye.
Ms. May. Aye. Ms. Katachowski. Aye.
Is the hospital parking lot still available and then people just walk across the bridge?
It is to this, as of right now, to this point now, who knows what the future holds? But as of right now, we were given permission to use that last year, and that's where we ran one of our shuttles from. So,
Thanks, Jim.
yes, sir.
Under new business, consider approving the board committees for 2026 year.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Stankovich.
Aye.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
Dr. Marangoni.
Aye.
Ms. Katachowski. Aye. Ms. May. Aye.
Unless you want me to read A through J, I will, but if you don't, then I need a motion to approve. Items A through J, please. Federal programs.
I'll make a motion.
Roll call.
Mr. Stankovich.
Aye.
Ms. May. Aye. Ms. Katachowski. Aye. Dr. Marangoni.
Aye.
Mr. Probst.
Aye. I'm not sure. If everybody wants me to read this, I will. The rest, 3 through 13. Or if you just want to look it over, we can approve them all as one.
See if anyone has any questions.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions on? 3 through 13.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
It says, I know it's per diem rate, but if she works 6 hours and she gets lunch, paid for, she's not, wouldn't that be an 8-hour employee after you get that? You know what I'm saying?
We can change that to 7.
This was,
You'd have to be 7 to get a full. Be a full-time employee in the district, you have to have worked 8 hours.
I would agree.
I just noticed that.
was there a reason why you wrote it up that way? I mean, is this the way you intended it?
That's what she requested and there was no,
She's an hourly employee.
You can pull that one out, and I'll revisit it next.
She's
uh,
hourly employed.
She's hourly. She's part-time, she's 3 days a week. I mean, Jim can speak more to
What she
what
does.
when she comes,
Oh,
you know.
yeah, she gives me a schedule.
That worked out okay,
Mm-hmm.
3 days a week.
Is 11 okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's always got preschool.
Yeah. You can.
I can take
You
that
can
out,
table that one.
and then we can approve it at the next, we'll change it, or I can just change it to 7. So what, I mean, I don't know.
I didn't
What-
have a problem with it, so that's up to you. I don't care.
Well, I don't, if you wanna approve it as is, it's fine. This is Jim's employee, so whatever you guys want, or he wants is.
Well, I didn't have a
Fine,
problem
fine.
with the way she paid.
Right.
That was where the problem came from.
Right,
The hour lunch.
yeah, well,
So
because
whatever-
some days she comes 4 days, and I think it needs to be stipulated. Does she get an hour lunch when she's here for 4 hours?
And gets paid for that.
Well, that's the question, because she's, Okay.
Well, then change it to 7.
That's what I would, I'm just saying, I mean, she's get full-time employees. I mean, everybody in this office, 8 hours and get lunch.
right, okay.
Okay. Right. Right, that's up to you guys. I mean, I'm just speaking my.
Well, maybe we just need to hold on it and just
Yeah.
table it and
And what's she going to do at the preschool?
What she's already doing. She runs the preschool. She gets a stipend.
Oh, so this is just a continuation of what she's been doing?
Mentioned.
are there any other questions?
Has everybody read over the job description? If we're going clear down to 13?
It's good to me.
Has everyone read the job description for Board of Education members? Okay,
I won't go through that, but you guys can.
and you want to go for it?
Yeah, I go by the Constitution. I'm an elected official.
Okay, then should we have one?
I go by the laws of the state of Ohio. I'm not trying to make, I'm just saying, you know,
Well, we don't need it, we don't need it.
Oh, the job description that we all signed. Where that's in the book, the job description book. Is that revised code? Is that what you're saying? No,
I don't know where it came from. It just showed up last meeting and,
oh, really?
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
to
been in
approve
there
a job
forever.
description.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
there forever. And then, Mr. Marigoni thought it should be updated. So that's where the new one came from. I mean, it has no.
It's fine on its face, but
Yeah.
I'm not signing.
I don't- I'm
here
just saying
for an
that.
elected position.
I think at one point in time,
I'm
this is
just
back.
following the different
Yeah,
rules.
Point in time, you had to do job descriptions for everything in the district.
Sure.
So I think that just got.
Should we table that until we find out whether we need it?
All right.
Table 10 and 13.
Yeah, will you look into it?
Hmm?
Will you look into whether we need this?
I'll have to ask an attorney, you know, but if the outbounds goes over the top of the revised code and different. You know,
Okay. And so do you need an approval to ask the attorney?
I don't know. I'll check it out. I'll have to check it.
Okay,
All right, I'll make a motion to approve 3 through 9, 11 and 12.
second,
Roll call, please.
Mr. Probst,
Aye.
Dr. Maragoni,
aye.
Ms. Smith. Aye. Ms. Katafasky.
Aye.
Mr. Stankovich.
Aye.
Sorry for the confusion. I just,
That's your job.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
yeah.
Excuse me. Mrs. Hildbrand asked me to ask someone about number 12, who is the demo agreement with the High State University. She wanted to know, is that the preschool?
No,
Go ahead.
no, it's a program that I'm bringing in from the Ohio State University. It's for our elementary kids. And we hope to take it to our middle school kids also. They'll bring down a mobile unit. It'll be parked outside the elementary. It's huge. And we will identify kids within the elementary who might need dental care who aren't able to afford it.
Well, I've been out of school for 50 years and we did that at one time at Hilltop.
Yeah.
That was in the 60s.
Yeah. Well,
So I
good
just,
thing.
yeah,
You got a reunion coming up, don't you?
I did last year.
All right, I'll move to enter to executive session with respect to a public employee or officials or officials employment.
Second.
It will be, yeah, as soon as I
That's May.
approve. Yeah, you can stay.
Mr. Sankey.
That's, now I got what you're asking.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right.
I showed your session at 5:15 PM.
Thanks, Joe. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Joe.
Out of executive session 5:44 PM.
I had grandkids in Colorado.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Come back in, sir.
Those
Yeah,
big
still
kids.
full
Yeah, so that's why, and then we had this cruise, it just happened to happen, but it isn't usually like this. They're in a play, one was in a play and the other one was in a jazz band, so it's see both.
I'll move to adopt uh, the resolution in respect to grievance number 1. We'll do separately. Roll call, please.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
Mr. Stankovich.
Aye.
Ms. May. Ms. Kapikowski. Dr. Marangoni.
I,
Next, I'll move to adopt the resolution in respect to grievance number 2.
second,
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
Dr. Marangoni.
I,
Ms. May. Ms. Kapikowski. Mr. Stankovich.
Does anyone else have anything to bring up at the board, with the board?
Well, you're gonna bring sandwiches Monday, right? You're gonna bring sandwiches Tuesday.
I can make sausage.
No reimbursement.
I'll move to adjourn.
Well, wait.
Well,
Motion.
Yeah, we gotta
motion
change
to
the
the-
meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So motion to change the March meeting to Tuesday, March 24th at 3:30 PM.
so moved. You wanna do them both at the same time?
We can, and also the April meeting to Thursday, April 9th at 3:30 PM.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Dr. Marangoni.
Aye.
Mr. Stankovich. Ms. Kapikowski. Ms. May. Mr. Probst.
Aye. We have to do the other two too,
But
right?
the specials I'll just schedule.
Okay.
We don't have to do a motion for them.
These are the monthly meetings.
Keep track of all that stuff.
Jesus.
We don't have to make a motion to do a special meeting.
No.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Now I'll move to adjourn.
Mr. Probst. Ms. May. Ms. Kapikowski. Mr. Stankovich.
Aye.
Dr. Marangoni.
Aye.
Time is 5:46 PM.
The old meeting says. Like COVID's been blowing my phone up some now.
Oh.